So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about zero point 0.5 linear equations. Upon completion of this lesson, you should be able to use algebra to solve a linear equation. In example 1, we are going to talk about simple addition and subtraction. So I have x minus 7 is equal to 16. I want to isolate a variable. I want to make sure I get x by itself. So I need to move my 7 to the other side by adding 7. Whatever you do to the left side, you must also do to the right side. My 7s will cancel, and I get x is equal to 23. B says m plus 12 is equal to negative 5. I want to get m on the side by itself, so I will subtract 12 from both sides. Whatever you do to the left, you had to do to the right. My 12s cancel, and I get m is equal to negative 17. And then our final problem on addition and subtraction, k plus 31 is equal to 10. To evaluate k and get on the side by itself, I must subtract 31 from the left side and subtract 31 from the right side. My 31s cancel on the left side, and I get k is equal to negative 21. So those are the simple addition and subtraction of linear equations. Now we are going to move on to multiplication and division of linear equations. My first problem I have is 4d is equal to 36. I want to isolate the letter d, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. When I divide the left side and the right side by 4, my 4's on the left side cancel, and I get d is equal to 9. Now we have negative 8, or negative t over 8 is equal to negative 7. Some people, when they take a look at this, they think that that negative is applied to the t directly. It can be applied to the t directly or the entire problem. So you can solve this in two different ways. We're going to solve it by multiplying by negative 8. That gets rid of the denominator. When I multiply the left side by negative 8, and then I multiply the right side by negative 8, my negative 8's cancel, and I'm left with t is equal to negative 7 times negative 8, which gives me a positive 56. The other way you might see this done is negative t over 8 is equal to negative 7. You can also see students do this, or you will see you guys do this. You'll multiply both sides by 8. And what that does is that gets rid of your fraction. So my 8's cancel. I'm left with negative t is equal to negative 56. But I want to make sure that t is by itself. It needs to be positive. So I divide by a negative 1 on both sides, and I get t is equal to 56. Looking at example C, 3/5 x is equal to negative 8. So I don't like fractions. I want to get rid of fractions when possible. So we're going to get rid of our fraction here by multiplying both sides by 5. When you multiply the left side by 5, you must multiply the right side by 5. My 5's cancel on the left side, leaving me with 3x is equal to negative 40. Now I want to get x by itself. And to get x by itself, I need to divide both sides by 3. And my answer is x is equal to negative 40 over 3. So those are the simple steps for multiplication and addition when solving linear equations. Now we're going to move on to multi-step linear equations. We're going to take the same methods that we just used, but now we're going to apply them to more than just a one-step problem. So I have 8q minus 15 is equal to 49. Q is on the left side. I want to keep it on the left side, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides. Whatever you do to the right side, you must do to the left side and vice versa. So my 15s cancel, and I'm left with 8q is equal to 64. I want to isolate my q, so I'm going to divide both sides by 8. I get an answer of q is equal to 8. Now b has a variable on the left side and the right side. If you remember in Algebra 1, I said I want to take all my variables to the left side when possible. So I got variables on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and take my variable to the left side, which means I need to remove my 6y. To do that, I need to subtract 6y from the right side and then subtract 6y from the left side. My 6y's cancel. I have 12y minus 6y leaves me with 6y plus 8 is equal to negative 5. Now I want to isolate my y value, so I will subtract 8 from both sides, which you did to the left, you need to do to the right. And I get 6y is equal to negative 13. Again, I'm trying to isolate my y value, so I need to divide by 6. And my answer ends up being y is equal to negative 13 over 6. Negative 13, 13 is a prime number, so this cannot be reduced. Leave your answer in fraction form. Now moving on to our last example, multi-step linear equations. Again, this is just another kind of multi-step linear equation. What we are going to do first is we're going to distribute my 3 to my x and my 3 to my negative 5. So I have 3x minus 15 is equal to 13. Now I need to get x on its side by itself. So I will add 15 to both sides. When I add 15 to both sides, my 15s cancel on the left side, leaving me with 3x is equal to 28. Now I got x on its side by itself. I need to divide both sides by 3. My 3's cancel, and I get x is equal to 28 over 3.